do graffiti at night when no one can see that you're doing it, and you don't stand out as much. Graffiti's usually done looking over your shoulder the whole time, and you have to do it. You just decide that you're going to do it here and now. You just do it, and then you stop doing it, and you pretend as though you are just a pedestrian walking along the street. So you just do it for a fleeting moment.
Or if it is going to go under 5 years, because somebody gives it. I think that's play out.
That venerable institution, the First National Bank of Boston. I think it's wonderful. You want me to describe it architecturally? I think that's my employer is what I think.
Perhaps a centralized feeling. Maybe even one of strength. character?
Wouldn't know how to describe it other than that it's round. Lots of rounds. Like the round Melba toasts. Only large.
Oh, there is a name. I don't know the name. Oh, I love to look at it. It's very different.
Popsicles. It's moving popsicles. It maybe symbolizes this is popsicle for the little guy.
You know what's scary about it, right? Is like when it's really, really windy. Like I'm scared to walk under it. Like a lollipop tree would fall down, you know what I mean?
If you ask me, do I think it's attractive, I would say no, but whatever you want to call it.
Oh, there is. It is called something. A heliotrope. That's what it is. Actually, as far as art goes, I don't really think it's too exciting. I am intrigued by the brilliance of whoever conceived it, actually. I would never have dreamed up something like that.
This what I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it sucks, man. I think it's a waste of fucking money and a waste of a lot of fucking time and energy. What the fuck are you gonna get out of it? It might fall apart and fall on somebody's head.
One of the reasons I chose the financial area to do graffiti was because of my experience working downtown repairing calculators. You open a door, which is like so mammoth, you can hardly believe it, and walk into this room, and there is a desk that is like 20 feet long, with one woman sitting at the desk, looking very tiny, with this huge painting in back that just of colors, and nothing else. So that you have this idea that humanity itself is dwarfed by just the largeness of this corporation. Primarily, they wanted to say, we are so strong and tough. We are like a fortress. It gives you a sense that these banks have always existed and will always exist, and that the very foundations of our society are these banks. They're the ones that have brought us everything. In doing spray painting, I've been arrested 12 times and spent probably around 20 to 30 nights in jail. There's always people saying, oh, you don't go out and spray paint, don't go out and spray paint because it doesn't get across any message and just turns people off. And I find that almost everyone I talk to really appreciates the fact that you're doing something bad to the people in control. And everyone would like to do it, and a lot of people aren't brave enough. First thing you see is these dead bodies. You have the feeling, oh, did somebody die here? And you have that kind of abrupt feeling of kind of fear or panic around death. And then you'd see the mushroom cloud stencils, so that instead of nuclear war being kind of this, antiseptic idea that you just read about, or like a nuclear missile, you invest $10 million in it and you get back, a couple of $1 million profit and so on, instead of it being in that level, we hope that it would bring people to reality that real live people suddenly become dead during the event of a nuclear war.
There's no way in the world this could be effective, in my mind, all right? It's some trash on the ground.
It's just pretty much kids or ignorant people expressing pent-up emotions.
I don't know. I have no idea why people write anything on walls. I don't think it's anybody's business.
Somebody's very disturbed. I don't think they were trying to say anything. They're just making a big mess.
I don't know. Is our artwork supposed to make you question your daily lives? And is that artwork?
Well, if it's if it's something pleasant, I think it's all right.
What does it say? Today? Is that what it says?
No, I don't know what it's. Tree? What is it?
Looks like a piece of shit.
What's your impression of the graffiti below you?
I think it's real important. I'm glad people are doing it.
And could you describe what you see and what kinds of things it makes you think of?
Well, what it makes me think of is the question that we all ask ourselves every day when we get up. It's like, are we going to go to sleep tonight? And hopefully, this is a real good place to be doing this kind of stuff down in the business center of town, where, well, people have a little more political clout and economic power, can see this and think about the threat of nuclear war.
Do you have any impressions of this graffiti?
Oh yeah, sure.
What does it make you think of?
It makes me think of the bomb.
Do you think that this graffiti should be down in this kind of area?
Yes. Is there some problem with it? Are they saying it shouldn't be allowed or something?
Yeah, there's been some of us have been detained for putting them around. And
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Thank you very much.
It's a hell of a lot better than some of the advertising you see around here.
Hello, could I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the graffiti that you see here on the street?
It looks disgusting.
What way does it look disgusting?
Well, it's defacing public property, and it's not. It has a message, but I don't think that the sidewalk is the place for it.
It says today, so I guess that brings the thought of that could happen today, right?
Right. And do you think that it's a good? People should be doing this around downtown?
I guess not.
Why shouldn't people be doing this downtown?
Well, they should, because it's like a message.
And what kind of message is it to people? You feel people like get something out of this at work downtown?
Yeah, they could get the message.
Can we ask you a couple of questions?
About what?
Well, about this graffiti here.
What about it?
What's your impression of it?
What's my impression of it?
Could you describe what you see there?
Probably could describe 5 different things that I see. What is this, ink block test?
No, we're just wondering if you've seen this around and if it made you think of any particular ideas.
Looks like a great tree.
Thank you very much. Can we ask you a quick question?
No, thank you.
Okay.
This here, today, it's all horrible. Look at the writing on it. Now that's disgusting. That's what make Boston look like it do, for real.
So do you think that the image has anything to say to yourself?
The image? Well, to me, it just look like a drawing, something that you just put down. It don't have no kind of symbol to it, though. Really, you can't look at that as a symbol, and then on a public building at that. That's what I'm saying, sir. This is ridiculous.
Now, we were wondering what your impression of this graffiti was.
Well, if you hadn't stopped me, I wouldn't have read it. It's to be certainly something you should think about, I guess.
And what does it look like to you?
Let's see, a nuclear cloud and a sign that says today.
Do you work in this area?
I do. Well, I work the other side of town, yeah.
And what kind of work do you do?
I'm in personnel management.
Uh-huh. And do you think that people like yourself take note of this and have it any impact at all?
No. See too much of it.
Right, okay.
Every cause has got something written on the wall. You just learn to walk by it after a while.
And you don't take any note?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
Thank you very much.
Inevitable.
Thank you. Can I ask you a quick question?
What would that be?
We were wondering what your impression of this design was.
That particular design, it leaves me impressionless, really. I don't care for it at all.
And you don't see anything in it at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you very much.
It all depends. Some people, like you say, some people come up to you and say, well, that's just a mushroom, you know what I'm saying? And then I look at it and say, well, man, that's nuclear, that's a nuclear blast, and I know what it is, you know? So the average person would come up here and look at it and say, well, man, I don't know, I don't even have nothing to do with that, right? But basically, today and time, they should want to have something to do with that because of the simple fact that Monday that's going to happen, and it's coming soon, you see what I'm saying?
And it'll be 2 days sometimes. Thank you very much.
it's kind of disgusting that the Shawmut Bank would name itself the Shawmut Bank, number one, and choose this Indian. The owners of that bank, the board of directors, are the descendants of people who stole Shawmut Island Peninsula from the Indians. The peninsula of Boston was on the Shawmut Peninsula, and it's kind of like claiming that, you know, we're as old as the Indians, and, you know, we have as much right to the property here as they did. We've taken upon ourselves to go up to these pieces of property which are owned by these corporations and put our own symbols on them. It's a part of the art of the culture. The resistance movement to fascism is just as important a part of the city's life and culture as Rembrandt's at the Museum of Fine Arts. It's the expression of poor people against oppression. In the United States, I think that there is censorship of most sinister sort of form. People believe that there's freedom of speech in the United States, but you only have freedom to say what you want to say if you have the money to say it. So it's economic censorship. Every day people have gone to these buildings and they've seen, and they're like being told what to think, and now we have a chance to say what we feel. You know, here we are, just these little tiny people running around at night, going up to these walls of these huge buildings, and you know that there's cops inside these buildings, like looking down at you, and there's cameras and everything, and you're spray painting this thing, and they're racing away. It's like guerrilla warfare, but it's a guerrilla media warfare.
The second one, C, 3 first, 6 guys, second,